It is a very busy afternoon. One transfer line to bring you as well from Manchester United.
Can any of you see?
I think it's gone too far now. I think, like you mentioned, there's been that apology and that wait for an apology that hasn't come. The only way I think it would be realistic is if Ten Hag wasn't there anymore and then he could come back under a new manager and maybe reignite his career at Manchester United that way. But I think for the short term, until the end of the season, it feels like a good decision. And I'm not saying, by the way, I'm not having any indication on Ten Hag and his managerial position. I'm just saying that's probably the only realistic option if there's a change in manager, because the relationship between the two of them is completely broken down. He's not involved in first team training. He's not got that relationship anymore. There's no real kind of attempts anymore to try and build that back up, is there? So you can't realistically say you can come back onto that and get back to the top.
Well, he's emblematic of Manchester United's transfer policy as of late. You bring in a player for big money, expect them to perform whilst not considering the system that they're being dropped into.
Oh, he went in. I was like, I'm not saying anything. And Craig was like,
no, but it's true. No, it's true. And it's you can lay the blame at the door of Erik Ten Hag, but you can lay the blame at so many people, and that's the reason why Ineos have come in and they've got a new ruthless strategy. Melissa already talked about it in December about how Manchester United are going to be ruthless when it comes to contracts and when it comes to moving players on that don't fit culturally. And I think that Sancho is an example of that. And as a result of that, if Ten Hag does stay at United long term,
I can see him coming back. I can see him play for Manchester United again at some point and actually still being a success. I really do.
I think the only way that could happen is like Harriet suggests, if there was a managerial change at Manchester United and Erik Ten Hag wasn't there anymore. I think that's probably the only way. Football does change extremely quickly. I believe, in my opinion, Ineos' plan is to continue with Erik Ten Hag at least until the summer, get some calm, get some structural changes, and hopefully Erik Ten Hag can be at the helm with those changes around him and see a different look to Manchester United, a different feel. And I think if that still, I think it will, comes to an end at Borussia Dortmund, I think if Erik Ten Hag's still there, I think it'll be very, very unlikely. Unless here's an apology and the two can, shake hands and move on. Football, funnier things have happened in football, but I think it's extremely unlikely.
Manchester United fans are going absolutely crazy after explosive reports suggested Brazilian midfield monster Éderson is closing in on a sensational move from Atalanta to Old Trafford. The 26-year-old midfield powerhouse has reportedly agreed in principle to join the Red Devils, and supporters already believe this could be one of the most important signings of the summer transfer window. Known for his incredible energy, aggressive tackling, relentless pressing, tactical intelligence, and complete midfield domination, Éderson has become one of the most feared midfielders in Serie A. Many fans believe he is exactly the type of warrior Manchester United have desperately needed for years. His arrival could completely transform the midfield by adding strength, balance, control, and intensity against the biggest teams in Europe. Supporters are already dreaming about how dangerous United could become with Éderson protecting the defense while helping launch attacks with power and confidence.